Tamron. I'm Zach. I'm a single father of two beautiful children, and I really want to attract a healthy relationship. But I tend to get involved in volatile relationships or with women who are more like projects. In my last relationship, we were on and off for about 3 years, and we just couldn't seem to make it work. I'm also a child of divorce, so I tend to have some trust issues in relationships as well. Seems like I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. I definitely want to break this pattern, though, and find the right partner. I feel like it's the missing puzzle piece of my life right now.
Let's welcome Zach via Skype from Denver, Colorado. Zach, welcome to the Tam Fam. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, good morning, Tamron. Thanks.
So you mentioned, Zach, in the tape piece that you have trust issues that stem from your childhood and your family. I can relate to that. My parents were divorced, and for a long time I thought, I don't want to get married because I don't want it to end in divorce. How did it impact your dating over these years?
You know, for me, I feel like it has kind of become one of those things where you almost are just waiting for the next, like I had mentioned, I guess the shoe to drop, where this is only going to last for so long before something happens and it's just no longer a thing, you know?
You also said, and now this one, you said you've been attracted to projects. Whew! Do you know how many exes right now are going to be texting you? What do you mean, projects?
All right, so what I meant by projects was maybe we weren't totally up to snuff in terms of what we're doing career-wise or what we value in life. You know, I've got 2 kids as well, and so it's just made dating an extra important piece in my life because it's not just for me. I've got 2 kids I got to look after as well too. And so when I mention project, I mean maybe someone who doesn't have kids that you think, okay, maybe they can get accustomed to this life. And so not necessarily something that is a project per se that they're not good enough, just something that may not be a good fit that I take on as a project myself.
I like how you worded that. I like that. You know, and I have Rachel DeAlto here with us, and she's been joining us to navigate. Zach really hit home to something I believe that many of the people who watch our show, they are now ready for a new relationship, but they have children. And when you are dating and you have children, it is different because you are bringing them in. You could be introducing them to the new person. And I don't want this person in and out of my child's life. If we're in it, we're in it. And that's hard.
I've experienced it. A former single parent, blended family, so I've gone through it, and it's definitely becomes the bigger priority in that situation. And as Zach was saying, he's attracting these projects or these possibly chaotic relationships, and it's just so important to be honest with yourself that this could work or this couldn't work, but honest with the other person too, because sometimes we want to fit that square peg in a round hole, and it just doesn't work. And attraction doesn't overcome that. So it's a lot of honesty with yourself and with others.
Zach's cousin, Nate, he joins us from Skype as well. Nate, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Tamron. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell me what you see or how you would describe Zach's dating life.
Well, I mean, having witnessed pretty much all of it and being there through the good and the bad, you know, I've seen it in stages because, you know, he's really blossomed up until this point. Like, as far as the man that he is today, I think he offers a lot more today than he did in previous years because of the growth, the self-growth that he's really put the work in to get where he's at. And I think he's really ready to kind of pursue a fruitful relationship. So obviously, I think a lot of that has to do with just the maturity that he's finally reached. So, I mean, it's been an evolution. I've seen him go from a young man dating and projects, I guess you could say, which I think he did a really well job of, you know, describing what he meant by that. But, you know, it's just been one of those things that I think he's really dated women, I think, that they've reciprocated their insecurities towards one another. I think there's been some jealousy, and I think he's touched on it too, with the trust issues. And I think those things have always surfaced.
Do you think it, so you're saying in some of these relationships, you saw it being a two-way street, that it wasn't just the person that he was dating, it was also Zach needing to grow and mature into the person we see right now?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I think, you know, we all do that as individuals. I think, you know, I mean, it's the saying goes, you have to crawl before you can walk. And I think the same goes with relationships. I think he's taken bits and pieces of everything that he's been through from every relationship that he's experienced.
Right.
I think he's been able to apply those things. And it's been very insightful for him now to be able to see like what he really wants in life. And that's growth in itself. So I think he's really in a good place to really truly give himself to somebody if it comes along and, you know, he really wants it. I know that's something that he wants. He's a great individual. He has a lot to offer somebody.
You're going to have to hold all of this for the wedding speech. This is a lot. Listen, you are ready. You're ready to do the wedding speech. So, Rachel, you're here. Listen, Zach has done the work. He is a great dad. He seems to have a great heart. The audience clearly thinks he's handsome because as soon as his picture popped up. So he's checking all of these boxes. What do you believe he needs? What tools does he need to manage this so he can find the love that he deserves?
Well, first, he's got a great tool in his friend who's there to support him, Nate. So I think that's an amazing part of it. But also, self-awareness is essential as he enters into those relationships, making sure that he doesn't self-sabotage, because we often do that to protect ourselves when we've been hurt before. We don't want to be vulnerable. So you really want to go in with your eyes wide open and intentional about what you're looking for.
Okay, so Nate, I'm thinking, how can I help you? Whew, this is a tough one. All right, luckily I have this talk show that is doing really well in the ratings, thank God. And there are a lot of women, thank you. Okay, and I happen to know a great portion of our audience are women, a lot of them single, a lot in the age group. Now, you get to look in that camera on the Tamron Hall show, and you're going to treat this like a dating, this is your elevator pitch. And I want you to speak to whoever is out there that could be Mrs. Right and say what you're looking for and what you want and that you're open for it. Here you go. Here, you're going to shoot your shot, man. 3, 2, 1. It's you.
Oh, wow, Tamron, you really put me on the spot here. I didn't get a chance to prepare for this. You know, for me, I'm really just looking for a best friend. You know, when it comes down to it, someone that's great with kids, that understands passion, drive, what it takes to excel in this crazy world nowadays, right? There's a lot that goes into just day-to-day life. And, you know, a good partner in all of it. So loyalty, trust, communication, those are all things that I've worked on within myself and something that I'm looking for within a partner as well, too.
Wow. Well, listen, I did that to you. You didn't know I was going to do it, but I believe in when you speak it out loud, that means you believe it, and it will come back. Rachel is also offering to coach you in dating. She has a great level of expertise. I'm going to send you a copy of her book. And if you're willing, I'm going to call my producers and we're going to figure out a show where, if you're willing, we're going to do some dating with Zach in one of these episodes coming up. Because I think our audience is invested. Nate, get your tuxedo, brush it off, keep working on that speech. Zach is going to come back on an episode to update us. He has made his pitch. We're going to follow along.